everyone, hello and welcome to our first guest speakers. Alex Casil is the TA of CS88. Catherine Kang used to teach 621A, she's now teaching 621B, and Omar Khan is now teaching 621B. So what we did behind your backs, even though you guys don't know about this, is we actually talked to your students. And we went over what their first impressions were of you guys. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Okay, Omar Khan, the overwhelming first impression that we got from you was your students think that when you play basketball, you calculate the trajectory of your shot. Catherine Kang, when we interviewed your students, we felt, most of them felt that you have an extensive boba collection, and you have notes of every single boba restaurant you've been to.
That's pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate, that's what we thought. And Alex Casil, when we interviewed your students, the majority of them said that you were someone from the iRobot movies. So,
Okay.
we know that this is false, and you guys know that this is false, and core staff probably know this is false too, but your students don't. So, introducing the first game, meet your students, and meet your professors. So what we're playing is Guess the Drink, or the Mysterious Shot. What we're doing here is we ask you questions. If you want to answer them, you can go ahead and answer them. If you don't want to answer them, then you're going to have to drink, and the host will drink with you. Is that fine with you guys?
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good? Okay, first question that your students want to know about you. Weirdest teaching experience. Who wants to start? Catherine, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So this was before I was a TA, but when I was a tutor for 621B over the summer, there were a lot of international students who came to Berkeley, and a lot of them were from China, and I'm Chinese, so I know Chinese, but they would speak to each other in Chinese and talk about mostly like 621B. They would talk about how lost they are, so I would try to help them. But these students would also talk about me, the TA, and the lab assistants a lot in Chinese. So specifically, they would refer to the TA as that white guy over there. So it took me about like halfway into the semester to figure out who exactly they were talking about. That was pretty weird. I was just hoping they wouldn't gossip about me.
Alex, you want to go?
Yeah, so I think like the weirdest experience I had was definitely being name dropped in a confessions post. So there was a confessions post on the UC Berkeley confessions page where like actually name dropped me as like in a TA context. Thankfully the post was like pretty positive, so it was like nice, but also just like really weird. Someone took the time to like talk about their experience and like mention me.
Do you think they were stalking you or something?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? That's a little uncomfortable.
Wait, what'd they say about you?
What'd they say?
They said I'm a very positive person, like I was in my lab. So it was like overall it was a good thing, and it was like nice to read, but it's still weird to think like somebody put that time.
Alright, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Would you like more of these confession posts or less?
I want all these confession posts I can get. If UC Berkeley confession page could just become like an Alex fan page, that's what.
Alright, Omar, what about you?
Mine's probably like one of my first CSM sections was just like one student, and so I was like, oh, we'll wait like 5 more minutes for like more people to come, and no one did. So like it was like my first time teaching, and it was like a one-on-one, and it was really awkward for me because like it was my first time. Yeah, it was.
That's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Was students sad when no one else showed up?
Yeah.
Like,
she was like, "Is this the right room?" I was like, "Oh, this is definitely the right room."
Oh my god! Did anyone else show up for like the rest of the semester?
Yeah.
Like,
the next time, like I had like all 4 show up.
Okay.
So.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're watching this video, Alex fan page, get on that shit right now. Alright, next question. So a lot of students don't really know much about you guys. So what we were thinking is the weirdest thing that you want your students to know about you from high school or even before you started teaching. Something personable. Who wants to start? Catherine, you want to start this time too?
No.
No?
Still thinking.
Okay. Who wants to go? Anyone?
I have a pretty good one.
You have a pretty good one?
For my senior project, senior prank, like my friends and I, we were really, like we want to do something like different than like most people did, which like at our school was like just vandalizing the school, like just TP and stuff. So for our idea, we needed a lot of traffic cones, and so we'd go out at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night, like every Friday, and just go around the town, look for like when the cops weren't looking, and then just like take like 3 traffic cones, throw them in the car, and just like go around like that.
For how long?
Yeah, so probably for like a month and a half or something. Like, we probably got around 30 or maybe more like cones, and we stored them on our teacher's like roof. Like we would just chuck them up there. So
during the school day?
Yep, or no, at night. So we got caught one time because like we needed to like put more up there because we had a bunch in our trunk, and so we did it at like 7 p.m., which is a bad idea because like we had a club meeting there, and one of the teachers came out like because they heard us walking on the roof, so they came out and saw us. And so she's like, hey, like, what are you doing up there? And the guy that was up there, like, didn't know what to do. So he just, like, stood still and tried to, like, blend in because it was really dark. And she's like,
at the
no,
statue?
Exactly. And she's just like, we can see you. Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, I still do. I still take cones sometimes.
You still take cones in Berkeley?
Well, I haven't done it that much in Berkeley. I don't have a place to put them. But, yeah, it's just one of those things I like to do.
Okay, solid. So your kids know that you steal traffic cones.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty interesting. Alex, you want to go?
That's like pretty nerdy. I guess one kind of cool fact about me is I played like a lot of chess when I was younger, like all over the Bay Area. Like my mom would drive me like chess tournaments, spend the weekend, play some chess, win some games, lose some games, and all fun playing chess. So if you bring a chessboard to my lab section and challenge me in a game of chess and you beat me, I might be able to give you extra credit. And, like, there's a small chance.
You can just give extra credit?
There's something called EPA points.
Yeah.
And it's after that you put a lot of effort and you like participate and you bring a chessboard and train the whole class. Maybe a little something.
What does that have to do with the section you teach though? Like
that's participation.
Oh, that's participation.
Participation.
Okay, solid. What about you, Catherine?
Mine's also pretty nerdy, but in high school I used to do a lot of debate. So one reason I give in section I talk really fast, so I think students get confused sometimes. But that's because back in high school I think I could talk up to about 400 words per minute, and so I kind of just like held on to that, and that's not good when teaching. But one kind of weird thing is, I think. Some of my students and definitely other teachers around me, I've debated them before, so it's really weird seeing them
about
on campus.
What? Oh.
Like debate in high school debate.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it's like really weird running into them, especially if I've like lost, because then I feel upset.
All right, next question. Things are about to get a little bit more spicy. Hottest teacher on campus.
I can start this one off. I think the hottest teacher is definitely Daddy De Niro. I don't know, just something about those like long legs, that tall stature just really get me going.
Does he get you going? Do you know he's like 6'5" or something?
Yeah, he's so tall.
I saw him in person one time and I was so amazed. I was like, what is going on here? So, all right, that's a little weird, but I'm gonna go with it. What about you, Catherine?
Alright, there's a lot of courses I want to TA for, and I don't want to make it weird with any professors, so I'm probably going to drink one of these.
Alright, are you guys doing it with her? She did decide to take a shot.
Yeah.
Those are the rules of the game.
Am I allowed to know what
we
these
all
are?
we all take it together.
Sure.
Oh, we all take it together.
Oh, my.
Close your
jeez.
eyes when you drink it. What?
Do I split one with her? Or
Just take
No,
Do
you're
we
going
get the
for
boba
it.
yet?
Huh?
Do we get the boba yet?
Not yet.
Oh, sad.
Alright, to Catherine wanting to teach other classes. Oh, that was
not
so
terrible.
gross.
Why is it spicy?
Oh my god.
Well, that's pretty
What
good.
the fuck?
It's like spicy.
That was actually kind of bad.
I think I'm crying.
Alright, so I don't have to go. I was going to drink anyways.
Nah, you don't have to go. You don't
Alright,
have to go.
okay, yeah, I'm not.
You should have
I
gone
don't
first, Catherine.
Should've gone
first.
Okay, worst question you answered while teaching. Or worst fuck up you've had.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, you take some time to think. It's chill.
Like, you mean like you just gave him the wrong answer, or like you just like stumbled a lot?
Just anything you want.
Oh, okay. So last semester.
Just okay.
Okay.
Just ready for it.
I was like, before the practice or before the midterm, I was like, oh, like for my CSM section, I said you can come in and we can go over pass the midterm exam.
Oh,
and
God.
like they have Hillfinger, so like he does a lot of like bit manipulation stuff that gets really challenging. So someone asked that question and I was like staring at it for like 5 seconds and I was like, oh yeah, I got it. It's just this. And then they're like, yeah, that's not what the answer key said. And I was just like, oh, okay. So then I was like going over it. I couldn't find I just couldn't get the answer. And after like 10 minutes of just failing, I was like, yeah, I'll get back to you after class on that one.
Did you ever get back to them?
Yeah, because I asked my TA and he's like, oh yeah, no, it's really hard. You do it like this. And I was like, yeah, no way, I wouldn't know that.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm pretty sure like everyone thought I was an idiot after that. I felt really bad.
That would happen.
Yeah.
What about you?
So mine's definitely more embarrassing than bit manipulation, but on my first 61B discussion section, I was really nervous because I taught 61A before, and so I made a lot of mistakes that day. So first of all, I did a lot of Python syntax on the board, which is bad for people who haven't taken 61A before. Second of all, I forgot the difference between system.out.print and system.out.println, which is like the most basic thing you're supposed to know, and it took me like a solid minute to figure out what was going on because I just wanted to like search it up on Google. I was very far away from my computer. Outside of that, I've definitely made mistakes telling people like when the midterm is.
Wait, that's
CSM,
terrible.
yeah, that's
Did
pretty
not
bad.
show up to the midterm?
No, okay, it's CSM, so I don't have that much power. But that's pretty awkward. Usually they correct me. Sometimes I have to send that like awkward email that's like, correction, the midterm is actually this week or something.
Oh my goodness.
But that's pretty bad.
You're trying to kill your students.
Yeah, lots of mistakes.
What about you, Alex?
This wasn't for the class I TA for. This was the class I tutored for Stat 140. So the tutors had to man like 1 hour, 2 hours of office hours a week. So I was at office hours, I was chilling, and then like 2 students working on the homework, and it was iterated expectation, and then I was trying to like explain like, okay, how did this like recursive expectation formula, and that's something like I was super confident in. So I was like, okay, explain to me what you've done, and they told me what they did, and I looked for the textbook, and then I tried to think about it. And I could not answer the question at all. I could not help them one bit. I was just like confused and stuck. I was the only one there. I had no idea what to do, and I was just like, sorry, I can't help you.
How'd the student respond?
They were like, if it's hard for you, then how are we supposed to like answer? So they're like, oh god. I feel like I really just like destroyed their spirits by being unable to answer the question. So
yeah, whatever. It's just one student. That's my thought process, right? You guys have 1,000 kids. If you like mess up with one student, you know, your batting average is still pretty high,
that's
right?
True.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay. Final question for you guys today. Worst type of student to teach? Ooh.
Like, what do you mean like by worst?
What do you mean by worst? Like a student, like maybe just like what's the worst type of student in terms of like qualities or like just like ruins your mood the most? Or the most difficult to deal with?
So I think my least favorite type of student is the student who's like me as a student, who like just goes to discussion and sits in the back and does not. I would hate me as a student.
You would hate you as
I would
a student?
hate me as a student.
Well,
I'm like
terrible.
the worst.
You should change that.
No. Because like, so I'm pretty awkward in discussion. I'm bad at small talk. And so when I try to make small talk and they don't really respond, if I'm like, how's your day? They're like, good. Then I'm just like, oh, cool. And then it's just really awkward for like the next 10 minutes before class starts. And then I have to do the awkward thing where I'm like, hey, who wants to sit in the front? And then no one sits in the front. So I'm like, hey, you are all sitting in the front now. So that's pretty awkward
force
too.
people to sit
I
down.
force people to sit in the front. I have like 6 people in discussion. I force them to sit in the front.
Oh my goodness.
They're forced to become my friends.
Okay.
You should show up, like, you should do what I do. I show up, like, exactly at Berkeley time, so I don't have to make any small talk, because I'm not good at it.
What? How are you bad at small talk? I don't understand.
It happens like that. I'll just be like, oh, how's your day? Good. Cool.
Just pretend to write on the board for 10 minutes.
Just pretend. You've done that before?
CSM, definitely in CSM.
What did you pretend? They see what you write on the board.
I think for a while. I'm like, and then I erase it. And then
just like write the agenda.
Yeah, write the agenda really slowly.
For 10 minutes.
Yes.
What?
Just keep erasing it. Yeah.
Just keep erasing.
Yeah, you know.
You're saying on record you have just wasted 10 minutes just writing
it's
stuff
like
on the
Berkeley
board.
time. You know, if they don't want to, sometimes they like take out their phone. I just write on the board.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Would you want your students to make small talk with you, or would you prefer?
Yeah. I want to talk with them.
Yeah. What if they're weird though?
That's even
good.
cooler.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
What if they just walk in and they're like, oh, like I had diarrhea today or something, right? Like,
no, I'd be worried about their welfare.
More fiber or something.
Give them some advice. We're mentors to them.
Okay, all right, solid.
Exactly.
Okay, so you 100% want small talk.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us if you have diarrhea. Like, we're supposed to be mentors.
What about you?
I think the most annoying type of student for me is one who's very aggressive and wrong. Like, it's fine if you're confident and you're, like, willing to answer. Like, that's great. I love positivity. But if you're wrong and you're confidently wrong, you just try again, you fail again, and you still have, like, same, like, high-effort failure, like, it's admirable. But I think you should confuse the other students, so please don't do that.
Oh, what do you mean by, like, high confidence? Like, they just think they're right?
They just think they're right, and they're not.
Oh, they're not willing to be taught.
Yeah.
Does that usually happen?
Thankfully not.
Yeah,
Thankfully
I mean,
not.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, I feel like it happens to, like, everyone at least once.
Yeah, that's true. All right, solid. And final question for you guys today. Most interesting quality of Josh Hug?
Ooh. It's tough.
That's a toughie? You can take a shot if you want.
One time, like, I think Eli was talking about it in, like, the infrastructure Slack. He was like, we had this website for, like, 61B stuff.
I know.
And so I remember one thing Eli said. Eli's another TA for 61B. He's just like, we need to figure out a name for the website before Josh Hug names it after an ancient Mesopotamian god.
Is that just something he did?
I guess that's something he does a lot.
Like in his free time?
And then like the next meeting, he actually he's like, oh, I have a good idea for it, and it was like some Mesopotamian stuff. We're like, what the heck? Like, why? So I think that's really interesting. Like, he's really into the culture,
the history.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Could you repeat the question?
Most interesting quality of Josh Hugg.
I think definitely the most interesting quality of Josh Hugg is how he goes out to surf. Like, I heard
surfs?
he told me a story where he went with his other professor out to just go surfing for like a few hours in the morning. And I was like, wow, that's so badass. I want to be like some like cool professor teaching CS on the side going surfing.
That's crazy. Do you know who we went with?
I did not know. It was another, I think, CS professor they went with.
That's crazy. You guys know I don't know how to swim, so I definitely
Oh my
I
gosh.
100% would not be able to do
So
that.
you can't
yet.
be professor then.
I know, it's kind of sad, but still, whatever. I'll live. What about you guys?
So, I don't know about interesting, but I think one of the nicest qualities about Josh Hugg is he's super willing to talk to anyone. So I remember, like, my first semester freshman year, I was just at this random event, and then he was there, and then he talked with me and this other group of, like, Josh Hugg fans for, like, 4 hours, I think.
Holy shit.
And, yeah, and he has
I would
some
not do
really
4 hours?
interesting ideas.
I thought you were
believe
bad
it
at
was
small
4
talk.
hours.
Yeah.
I kind of just stood there and, like, absorbed everything. I think
Okay.
it was, like, almost 4 hours. I left a little early. But he also has some really interesting ideas, like about the ancient Mesopotamian god thing. I just remember really clearly one thing he said on the Slack. I don't remember the context. Was what if we went up to the soda hall front desk, asked for chalk, and ate it in front of them? And I just I've been thinking about that for like 2 months now because
Yeah, because the context is
that?
as a TA you get free chalk and free markers. So like Hugg is like, oh, if you ask for free chalk, eat in front of them and ask for more chalk, would they give you more chalk?
That would actually help with the
Have you
diarrhea
tried it?
problem.
That would help with the diarrhea
not.
I've not
problem.
tried
That would
Does chalk
help.
have fiber in it?
Exactly. Or
Nice.
wait, yeah, Susan upset stomach.
Oh, okay. I don't know
So
about
if you have
this.
diarrhea, you should get chalk from some soda, and you should just eat it in front of them.
Only if
Alright,
you're a
solid.
TA.
Yeah,
Only if
exactly.
you're a TA.
Perks
Yeah.
of being a TA.
What the fuck? So that's it for today. Basically, what we wanted you guys to know is these are your TAs. Go to their discussions, hang out with them. They're great people. And next week, we're going to bring in some professors as well. So that's all for today.
6
Late
to
night
8
at Cal.
PM. 6 to 8 p.m. Tatarja Dai Hall,
Oh,
254.
giving himself
I'm there
a
every
shout-out.
Tuesday.
All right, and that's Late Night at Cal.
Yeah.
That's Cal After Dark. We're going Yeah, we're keeping that in. All right. Yep, that's it for now.
All right.
Now we have to take
Thanks
all
for
the
having
shots,
us.
right?
Take a shot.
Wait, this was
Take a shot.
legitimately not
Take a
bad.
shot.
We already
We're
had
taking
one.
a shot.
The sriracha one's pretty good if anyone didn't have it. Like, I have none,
I
I'm sorry.
fucking hate you, Catherine.
Wait, what are these? I'm worried.
Why is it
Go for it.
I don't
Just
think the
go for
sait
it.
one's gonna be as good.
Shoot your shot.
Oh my.
Wait,
All
I
right.
wanna
Don't
smell
smell
this.
good.
Wait, is there any more sriracha?
Oh, that's